let's begin with big breaking updates coming in the cash controversy involving the Delhi High Court Judge, Justice Yashwant Varma. Now, details are coming in. The Chief Justice of India has constituted a 3-member committee for conducting an inquiry into the allegations that cash was found at Justice Varma's residence. Times Now has accessed the report that Chief Justice of Delhi High Court had submitted to the Chief Justice of India regarding the whole matter. Now, in this report, the Chief Justice has also attached a report from the Delhi Commissioner of Police, which categorically mentions that half-burnt sacks of cash were seen at the storeroom of Justice Varma's official residence, where the fire was reported and then later doused. Now, the Chief Justice has called for a deeper probe into the matter. Now, in his clarification, Justice Varma has claimed a conspiracy to defame him and malign his integrity. In fact, he claims that the alleged cash does not belong to him and that no member of his family or his staff was even shown the alleged cash. Let's tell you what has been stated in his response. First, let's get you all of those details one after the other. First up, let's get you what are mentioned in this report. Remember, this is the report that has been filed, and this is from the Delhi High Court Chief Justice to the Chief Justice of India. So let's tell you what all it says. In the said room, after the fire was brought under control, 4 to 5 half-burnt sacks were found containing remnants of Indian currency. This is what it goes on to say. And we've accessed the report as well. And it goes on to mention very clearly, as per the probe record, that there were sacks of cash that had been found. And look at these visuals. They show exactly what is mentioned in the report as well. So this is the report. So let's tell you the timeline of things. First, fire breaks out, after which the fire brigade is called in. They find sacks of cash here and they immediately inform the higher authorities. Immediately after that, the report is filed, and Times Now has accessed this report that gives out all of these details. In the said room, after the fire was brought under control, 4 to 5 half-burnt sacks were found containing remnants of Indian currency. This is what it says. Let's go across to my colleague Bhavtosh Singh joining us on the broadcast with the details. Bhavtosh, the report that was filed after the fire had been doused at the residence of the Justice mentions very clearly that there were several sacks of cash that had been found. This is a report that had been given to the Chief Justice. What action followed?
Well, if we just go by the timeline as to what exactly happened, the report was given to the Chief Justice of India by the Delhi High Court Chief Justice, and it gives a blow-by-blow account as to what exactly happened. Remember, for past few days, there has been a lot of opaqueness and ambiguity as far as the sequence of event is concerned. The report is now out in public. Now, the Chief Justice of Delhi High Court had said that a day after, that's on 15th August, he himself was not in Delhi. The Commissioner of the Delhi Police, Mr. Sanjay Arora, made a call and told him that he wants to share a video, and this video was of the outhouse or the storage area of Justice Varma's residence. Now, there was a small fire that had broken out, and the video, in fact, showed this huge stash of cash, which was kept in jute sacks. Now, the video, in fact, was very shocking. He said that he came back the next day and started inquiring about it. Now, the defense of Justice Varma, which is also very important, he said that he was not in Delhi. He was also outside. And he said that since the cash was not recovered from his residence, he's not the owner of this cash. The cash does not belong to him. Delhi High Court Chief Justice claimed that the very fact that it has been recovered from his premises means that there should be further probe into this entire issue. Yesterday, there is a 3-member inquiry that has been set up by the Supreme Court Chief Justice. And importantly, Justice Varma has been told that no judicial work would be given to him. The fact remains that this is one of the most serious controversy or scandal that has hit India's judiciary. Justice Varma maintains that this cash does not belong to him. Delhi High Court Chief Justice has said that this requires further probe. And the Chief Justice has also said that if further probe is required, he has set up a 3-member committee.
Okay, all right. Bhavtosh, stay with us. Our colleagues Priyank as well as Sabyasachi are also on the broadcast with us. So Priyank, Justice Varma in his clarification claims that the cash that was found at his official residence does not belong to him. He claims that his family members are also not aware of it. In fact, he also goes on to claim that he was also not made aware of the fact that so much cash was found at his residence. But the visuals show otherwise. It shows the huge amount of cash that was found. All of this is said to be from the official residence. So the timeline comes into question as well, with several questions still remaining unanswered. Was the report filed in this regard? Were the officials informed of the same? And if this report had been given to the Chief Justice, why was he still transferred to the Allahabad High Court?
Yeah, that's the point, Pratibha, because from the very beginning, it was quite clear that someone is trying to, suppress this matter down in the Delhi circuit. But the Chief Justice of India had certainly constituted an inquiry which was being followed by the Chief Justice of Delhi High Court, Justice Upadhyaya, who had finally given his report on the basis of the Delhi police report. That was the reason because of which Delhi police was certainly silent, because the manner in which the Delhi Fire Chief Atul Garg has been continuously changing his statement since the time this matter came up day before yesterday. It was quite clear that there has to be something which is being hidden. He was quite brazenly denying the fact that when his fire officials reached the location, there was no cash found. But look at the visual. It was quite clear that when the Delhi police personnel were recording it on their mobile camera, there were fire department officials who were present on the spot. But the video certainly reached to in the office of the Chief Justice of India, and the Chief Justice of Delhi High Court, Justice Upadhyaya, also took cognizance of this particular video, and a final detailed inquiry report was finally submitted before the CJI's office here in the national capital. On the other side, we know that the CJI has already constituted a 3-member panel inquiry which will be further looking into other aspects of this particular investigation, because Justice Varma has been denying any kind of allegation. He has distanced himself in a very detailed letter which was handed over to the CJI, where he has stated that this particular outhouse is not at all associated, and there's a big barrier which is there in the living area where he is living, and the outhouse where the cash was found. On the other side, everyone is right now having a hope on the 3-member panel judges report, which is comprising of the Chief Justice of Punjab and Haryana High Court. Then the Chief Justice of Himachal High Court is also there, and one judge from sitting judge from the Karnataka High Court is also part of this 3-member inquiry committee, which will be looking into other aspects of this case. This inquiry committee will be certainly looking into all the aspects: who came to the judge's house, how the cash reached there, what were the total number of security persons who were there. There are several aspects which need to be considered in this case. Since Justice Varma was not inside his house when this particular fire broke out on the 14th night, certainly the sequence of incident will be very important. For the benefit of our viewers, let's tell them on Diwali, on Holi evening around 11:35, there was a call which was given to the Delhi Fire Services. 2 fire engines reached to the location. What they found is right in front of their eyes. But over the period of last 48 hours, what we have been watching, that there have been deliberate attempt to hide the real fact. But fortunately, the CJI's inquiry committee, which was certainly headed by Justice Upadhyaya from the Delhi High Court, has brought the truth on the basis of the video which was provided to them by the Delhi police. So over the period of next few months or days, what we are expecting, that the 3 judges inquiry committee which has been constituted by the CJI of India will come out the detail about how the cash is there, what was the reason, who were the individuals who are behind bringing up the cash, and how far the cash seizure has been affecting the orders which has come out from the orders which has been given either in Allahabad High Court or which was supposed to be given here in the national capital at the Delhi High Court by Justice Varma.
Okay, what is the action that will be taken? Will exemplary action be taken in the case? That's the question. Sabyasachi is also with us. Sabyasachi, in the report, the Chief Justice has attached a report from the Delhi Commissioner of Police. While Justice Varma claims that he had no information about the cash, he claims that he did not know that this was present in his residence. He claims that he was not even made aware of the fact. But this report by the Commissioner of Police very categorically mentions that half-burnt sacks of cash were seen in the storeroom of Justice Varma's official residence.
Well, that's right, Pratibha. Clearly, the video tells a very different story. We had seen that in the video, it could be very clearly seen that how the cash were burnt over there. Now we had seen that Justice Yashwant Varma clearly has distanced itself from the allegation. He has rejected all the allegations that has been leveled against him. He, in fact, have stated that he or nor of his family members have any relation with the cash. Neither they have put the cash in the storeroom. In fact, he also went on to say that the idea that he would hide the cash in an open common area which has been used by the staff members as well is absolutely ridiculous. And he also pointed out that there has been a larger conspiracy against him, and clearly the allegations which has been leveled against him, he has absolutely rejected these allegations. But clearly there has been certain attempts to divert this particular story. We had seen that time and again how the Fire Brigade team has been giving various statements time and again to dissolve the matter. But clearly in this regard, the committee which has been formed by the Chief Justice of India, and clearly the report which has been handed by the Chief Justice of the Delhi High Court clearly tells a different story, and it proves that unaccounted cash were found at the residence of Yashwant Varma. But Yashwant Varma clearly states that the area where the cash has been found is a storeroom, and the living area does not have any access with the storeroom, and it is divided by a wall. So clearly these all detailed statement has come in from Justice Yashwant Varma, stating that neither he nor his family have nothing to do with this unaccounted cash.
Okay, all right. So as the hours pass by, more and more questions remain unanswered. Senior Advocate Swapnil Kothari is joining us on the broadcast. Thank you and a very good morning to you, Swapnil Kothari. There are several questions around this case. The Justice has now said, Justice Varma now claims that he was not aware of the cash that was found at his residence, and he claims that this is a conspiracy. But we have now visual evidence of the huge amount of cash that was found at his residence. But there are a lot of questions, a lot of opaqueness also about the steps that were taken up after this matter came to light, after the officials informed that yes, huge sacks of cash were found burnt at his residence.
Good morning, Pratibha. Well, any judge who's been caught in the crossfire of this huge amount of cash is definitely going to dissociate himself or herself from that and say that I do not know, this was my outhouse, and all of those feeble reasons. There is no two ways about it, that he definitely is aware. The outhouse is his. At the end of the day, nobody's just going to come up and put up a pile of cash there without his knowledge. An inquiry committee has been set up, fortunately, so the transfer is, which was a rather a weak decision at that time, or an inadequate decision, if I may say so, has now been replaced with an inquiry, which is the correct procedure under Article 218 and also under the Judges Inquiry Act. So now we'll see as to what happens when the three-member committee, which of course consists of distinguished judges, looks into it and eventually comes out with a report, because then that has to go to the Parliament. Both the houses have to pass it by a special majority. And then eventually the President will take a call on whether to relieve him completely of judicial duties. As of now, he's been relieved of judicial duties. No question about it. If any single lawyer, Pratibha, if you ask him or her, will not go before this judge ever in the future to argue his or her matter. Imagine the situation where he was sitting in the Allahabad High Court, and Allahabad High Court Bar Association said that this is not a trash bin. That so what's not good for the goose cannot be good for the gander. And if it's not good for Delhi High Court, why should it be good for Allahabad High Court? Both are at a parallel level, or even for the subordinate courts for that matter. The thing is that if he were to be hearing a case, if I had a client who was a public servant caught for a bribe or was about to be, and his case was being heard by this judge, I would argue before this judge and say that if your lordship was caught with a wad of cash and transferred, why should my client be punished at all? Imagine the justice system going absolutely to the dogs if this man were to hear even a single case.
Yes.
What faith do the billion people have in the justice system?
Absolutely. And it's no longer about Justice Varma, it's about the entire judiciary. This is going to raise questions on the entire judiciary if exemplary action is not taken. I request you to stay with us. We want to tell our viewers that the group editor-in-chief, Navika Kumar, was the first to break the explosive news that burnt sacks filled with wads of cash were found in the storeroom located near Judge Varma's residence. Take a look.
Well, breaking news coming in to us at this time is the blockbuster breaking news. Let's tell you what really happened on the night of Holi and the unholy charges that followed. The judge's family called the Tughlaq Road police station on 14th March and reported a fire. The police reached the house of the judge and went to the outhouse behind the main residence area. In the storeroom, they found sacks. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, not one or two, but several sacks of notes that had been stored in that storeroom. Several sacks. Please note, several sacks. And sources have revealed that so many sacks could not have any less than 45 to 50 crore rupees. Half of these notes seem to be half burned. Some sacks were damaged. The police recovered, and there was mobile footage that was recorded. This mobile video of sacks and burnt notes was sent to the top cops. Simultaneously, the fire services who had been called by the police arrived and then doused the fire. The police informed the topmost levels of the government following which this entire issue and the video was forwarded to the Collegium of the Supreme Court. We understand that some family members of Justice Yashwant Varma were standing when the police arrived, witness to those sacks of notes that were available, but due to the fire they were asked to go inside the main residence, and then the police took this entire material into their custody. So far, no decision has been taken on the transfer of this judge, but sources say that the cash to the tune of 45 to 50 crores was found in that outhouse, which had caught fire due to a short circuit. In fact, since the news of that fire has come out, the judiciary has been on fire, in a manner of speaking.
So let's take a look at this. The fire broke out on the 15th of March. It's been 9 days now. So imagine the number of questions that still remain unanswered. Firstly, why was an official report not filed on the very first day? Even to this day, we don't know the details of the amount of cash that was found at the residence. These are burnt notes, yes, but isn't there an estimate of the amount of cash that was witnessed? Those are the questions that remain. What was the action that was taken? Was there a cover-up? Was there a benefit of doubt that was given to Justice Varma or not? Swapnil Kothari continues to stay live with us. Swapnil Kothari, to put things in perspective, as of now, several questions continue to be raised. This comes at a time when there is already a lot of questions on the opaqueness of the judiciary. There are calls of more transparency in the judiciary. So it could not have come at a worse time. With the details in the case, what should have ideally been done so that there would not be even an iota of doubt that maybe, just maybe, something is amiss here?
Let me, I'm not trying to justify any decision making by the CJI, Pratibha, but the point is that initially when something of this nature comes to the CJI, it's more of a shock in the first place. So, it sort of takes about a day or two to absorb as to what the hell is going on. Wads of cash, and that to 50 crores, and that to at a High Court judge's residence or an outhouse. So before you, meet with the collegium, the 5 judges, and they sort of take a call, the first step that may come to the mind is that, let's transfer. But I would have appreciated not to announce it and just wait for a day more and then straight away institute an inquiry, so that there is no further aspersions cast on the opacity of the judiciary. I am of the firm belief, Pratibha, and quite a few lawyers are at a variance with this, and most of them would agree with me and have agreed with me that still the collegium system is the better system, rather than to have an executive appointment of any judges. Judges should appoint their own in this country, at least, be that as it may be, with all its opacity or all its biases, etc. Because let me tell you, Pratibha, that imagine a scenario where, say, in the United States, the president appoints the judges, but there is a tremendous check and balance system. Here, if you imagine an executive appointing the judges, what will stop that executive, given the amount of interference that we still have into any other spheres of the judiciary or the legislature and vice versa? That judiciary hardly ever interferes. It has to step up only when the executive and the legislature fails. So the point is that imagine an executive having an appointment stay. What stops him or her from calling up that judge later and say that, you know, by the way, this case of my nephew or a niece is there, please take care of it, and all of those things. So I'm of the firm view that with all its follies, the collegium system is still the preferred system. Now, coming to your question a little bit more deeply as to what could have been done and, you know, whether a report could have been filed immediately or not. Well, I believe that it has come a little late. The media has sparked a huge outrage, and that is what maybe has caused the collegium system to say that, okay, you know, let's institute an inquiry. And the initial statement that they gave that, oh, you know, by the way, the transfer was just an on-course transfer. It had nothing to do with the wires of cash. That is not a believable reason at all. Yes. It was absolutely made because of the reaction. You know, it was done because of, you know, this particular wads of cash being found. Yes. And then with the media outrage, an appropriate decision of an inquiry committee, I can assure you that this inquiry, 99.99% will result in the removal of this judge as per 218 of our constitution, and it should be so. There is no question. There have been 5 to 6 instances of High Court judges and Supreme Court judges being in the dock in this manner. Nobody has eventually been impeached. People have resigned before the impeachment proceedings have gone. So we don't use the word impeachment, we use the word removal. But this also should be the scenario. I believe that instead of all this, Mr. Justice Varma should resign and step out completely to save the judiciary.
Absolutely.
The independence of the judiciary.
Absolutely. With so many questions being raised, he should be removed. That's the call that has come in, and there has been a lot of outrage across the country over this incident, with many also making comparisons. If this was not a judge, if it was just another person, even if it's a politician, even if it's a common man, the reaction or the action would have been completely different, and that's where these questions come in. I request you to stay with us. We're slipping into a very quick break here, but don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.